Hello and welcome to the West Yorkshire Football Show. It's the instant match reaction to Wolverhampton Wanderers 1 and Leeds United 3. Leeds United's first victory since the opening day against Everton. What a game, what a win. Just on cloud nine with that, absolutely amazing. Got the 3 points, scored some goals, scored a variety of different types of goals as well, which was so pleasing. DCL's first goal, Stack banging in a belter of a free kick. Kind of the perfect day, had to overcome adversity at the start as well, going behind. But Jason, I mean, how good does it feel to be sat here 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon with 3 points in the bag?
I mean, mate, anytime you take 3 points in the Premier League, even sometimes a point away from home, you can come away from it feeling top of the world. That can go for home games as well. I would say after 5 games of being returned to the Premier League, I'm really, really happy with where we are. Sure, up until today, we've needed some more creativity. Today we saw it.
Yeah.
Today I thought was probably the most level playing field of a game that we found ourselves in terms of where our squad is in terms of ability and their squad is in terms of ability. And we were head and shoulders better than them from a man-to-man point of view, from an effort point of view, and from a tactical point of view as well. The tactical setup was head and shoulders, again, better than what they displayed. They were fortunate to find themselves in front. And from there, I mean, I wasn't particularly worried at that point because it felt like every time that we went forward, we were going to start creating chances. I said to you, at 1-0 down, we can get at these.
Yeah.
We can get at these, and you could see it. And I mean, mate, I thought we were excellent. I thought we were superb. To a man in effort, performance, guile, quality as well. There were lots of moments of real nice quality. Not to talk too much and go over too many pages at once, but Ampadu, Gabby, I thought was excellent. Stack, quality shows up in different ways. And Anton Stack today, defensively, out of possession, boom, he was there. Every time that Wolves got the ball and the ball turned over, Stack were on him. Boom, boom, every time. Longstaff just being needly in there. Calvert-Lewin, we saw the ability of a proper marksman, number 9, that he can hold the ball up. I mean, we'll get to the goal. What? That header's
it's beautiful.
Yeah. Brendan Aronson. I thought Brendan Aronson showed bags of quality today, which he usually struggles with outside of the F. I mean, he ran his nuts off today, but he actually showed some real nice moments of quality as well. He actually linked up some really nice play and created a really good chance in the second half. Noah Okafor, we're starting more and more to see his little moments of quality. He's got the pace and ability to go past, and then the finish. First time on his weaker foot across the goalkeeper. Not many of our players are capable of doing that. They're not. So yeah, mate, I'll stop eulogizing for a minute. I'm just delighted, and I'm almost relieved and really happy for the manager and for the players because they deserved it. They really deserved it today, but they deserved it after last week as well. And the boss has taken bags of flack and abuse like he's always going to do because people just have the agenda and they don't like him. Again, he's served up 7 points out of the opening 5 games, mate, and that ratio keeps us up. It's as simple as that. And we've not had easy games either.
No, 100% agree. Gav, big win. Martin, well-deserved. Diggler, happy days. Absolutely indeed. Guys, if you could smash your likes on the video, does us a big favour. Get your comments in, get subscribed. Yeah, I mean, I think you summed it up perfectly there, Jason. It was just one of those days you could enjoy. And, it was the same team from Fulham team last week. No changes. We went with the same 11. And straight from the off, you could really see, we were so comfortable. And, I mean, people have been talking about, and we mentioned this on our show on Thursday, about people saying, well, we've got to have this urgency to get forward. But I really like how we play ourselves into games. And I thought we dominated the early parts of the game. There was a fantastic breakaway where Goodmanson, and I agree, we'll lavish more praise on Goodmanson later on in the episode because he was absolutely fantastic. But he made a fantastic breakaway down the left, hit the ball across. It was begging to be dropped in. You thought, this is on today. This is definitely on. And then they just got a goal in transition. It was a bit messy. Somehow the ball finds its way through. You got Longstaff chasing the guy back, like like you said in the WhatsApp group, where's the centre backs? What's happening? And I mean, I've got to say, I didn't react like you. I was fuming because I just thought this is just not.
No surprise there, Browney.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, football is not fair because we'd literally done everything. We'd started so well. To be fair, it didn't look too dissimilar to the Fulham game. We were really good in that game as well. And yeah, to go again to go a goal down. It was such against the run of play, wasn't it? I mean, they literally did nothing, and somehow their first chance they managed to bundle it in.
Yeah, I mean, there were a nice bit of play. I will say that in the build up to the goal. But Rodon and Pascal just found themselves in no man's land. I mean, Rodon went tight with the player that played the ball back before it then came back in. And I don't know where Pascal was. He was completely snoozing. So between them, they ended up making a bit of a mess of it. And if you watch it, you see it's Longstaff that's kind of trying to defend the run through. And I mean, at that point, you have to question where is the defensive line gone? But you're right. Like, in many ways, it makes it nicer than just a standard 3-0 win. Because we had to kind of overcome that adversity. You know, Wolves were obviously up against it, given how they were going into the game. The ground would have then got up, 1-0 up, and we built ourselves back into the game. And, from like I say, for me, from the second that the game then settled back down again, you could see that we were going to build into creating chances. It didn't feel, sorry, good gas. It didn't feel like the previous weeks where it's been a little bit slow. The attacks felt fluid and quick, and it felt like we were getting movement and players running off them. And I do think there's a certain aspect that Wolves made it a bit easier for us at times. I think they are really poor. I think if you finish below Wolves in the table, you're going to get relegated. I think they are in and around that state at the minute. They might look a little bit better if they're starting games with Bueno and Strand Larsen, who were both obviously on the bench today from coming back from injuries. But that's tough. We had Monto and James out today. You deal with what you deal with injuries. You compensate to that. When Ampadu and Tanaka were out, we had Newcastle at home, and we got a point out of it. That's what our manager managed to do. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not giving them a pass. But the three at the back and the spaces in the midfield really left them open. They were very lucky as well, by the way, to finish with 11 men on the pitch. The Kajic in the midfield got a yellow card in the first half, and he committed maybe 6 unanswered fouls in the second half and didn't even seem to get warned by Anthony Taylor again. Anyway, that's a side note. So, yeah, it was so pleasing to see us build back into that. But like I said, I thought you could feel it coming, mate.
Yeah. Colin, thanks for your comment, mate. Great all-round team performance, MOT. CB, getting an early goal against Leeds, not a good idea. We showed that last season as well. A well-deserved win and great to see a few goals scored. Happy for DCL. Hope it improves his confidence. And Gav there, but not a Chelsea win next, please.
Calvert-Lewin didn't look unconfident beforehand, I didn't think.
No, I didn't. I think he looked very fine. Yeah, I think he's looked
I know what CB's saying. I know exactly what it means, but he's always looked quite, like, brash and like he's the man. Like I think he has looked every bit the number 9. The commentary team mentioned that Calvert-Lewin was not so long ago on the bench for the European Championship final, and it just made me think of it. I mean, I've always defended the signing, but it made me just think about the level of the signing that we've made here. He was the backup to Harry Kane only a couple of years ago in a European Championship final. He did turn down Champions League football to come to us, not in this country, sure. Well, I believe that he turned down Manchester United as well this summer. If you're led to believe what you've heard, but he definitely turned down Champions League football. So it's a massive signing, and you saw, he's going to miss chances. Yes, he gets caught offside a little bit too often because of his lack of pace. He stands right on the shoulder, a bit like Bamford. Bamford used to do that as well. But you can just see his quality. You can see his understanding. He's very, very smart in terms of his movement, and his link-up play is excellent. And now that he's starting to trust his body again, you just have to keep him fit.
I always think as well, like, how hard is it as well, Jason, and I always think this, it's like, in his position, how many touches is he getting a game? And then it's these little moments where you've got to be spot on with what you're doing, and the little layoffs, there's a couple of times, chesting it down into the path of play, winning a header. I mean, he does that stuff so well, winning free kicks. Yeah. I mean, it was just great to see, wasn't it? You know, and it's nice to have a player with that nous up front who's doing that kind of stuff, because he got us out of trouble a few times when we were, you know, quite deep.
Mosquera for Wolves was having an absolute mare. He was literally just running after Calvert-Lewin in circles, and he couldn't handle him. I mean, there were one where like you were claiming that Calvert-Lewin had elbowed him in the face, and then he all of a sudden just became fine and just pushed Calvert-Lewin over. And it's like, you are fully rattled here, mate. Like he was totally not rattled. He ended up getting substituted, and I know Wolves were going for the game, but at one point they took off 2 centre backs. Did Wolves and replaced them with anyone. I mean, they were, you know, full wobble, weren't they, at one point?
Oh.
So yeah, and Calvert-Lewin, I mean, he played a massive part. I did think he looked a little bit leggy from 60 onwards, which is expected. I almost, when subs started to happen, I was like, I don't really want any changes to happen, but I understand why they did. Took Okafor off, brought Aronson on just for the legs. Then, you know, Tanaka came on for Longstaff, and I weren't really sure about that one when that happened either, because I thought the midfield three were just so solid. But I get it. Like at that stage, it's more about legs than it is about the game state as such. So I do understand it.
Yeah. What about his goal then? I mean, let's talk about that in detail. I mean, Jayden Bogle, first of all, bravo. I mean, the work down the side, the cross, exquisite cross. And DCL, I mean, that header, it's just one of them. I'm going to be watching it all week because it's just the way, the deftness of it and the direction. I mean, just perfect.
I'm not going to say he's like Ronaldo, but the way that he hangs in the air is a bit Ronaldo-esque. He's got that capability of being able to kind of be up, you know, 3 foot in the air for a long period of time. And I mean, he had one not so long before that, I think it was, where he kind of just backed in and held it in the chest, but it was in the air for so long that the defender was like, what can I even do with this? Like, I can't deal with it. And yeah, I mean, on his back foot, the way that he's moving away from goal to generate that loop and the power at the same time. Like, I've not seen a striker be able to do that at Leeds for a long time. I mean, the player I think of when I think of somebody else that could do that was Brian Deane. When Brian Deane re-signed for Leeds in the season that we came down to the Championship, he had that ability. You don't see Matt Smith, maybe, but it was never that quality.
Lee Chapman was one who was all about that, and he was one who could hang in the air like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Just such a beautiful thing. It gives you such another element of your game as well. I mean, that is every bit as difficult as any strike on goal you'll see to score. That is super difficult to do. And we've got that at our disposal there, you know. So yeah, mate, and as well for free,
and you know, it's such a crucial point at that part of the game as well, Jace, because like you say, we're trying to kind of pick ourselves up and get ourselves back into the game. And one thought that went through my head, and you know, you end up kind of comparing as to what happened before. You know, when we got relegated last time, we did it so many times where we'd have lively starts. You know, we can go back, we can look at our own match reviews, and we said we had a bright start, we looked good, we go 1 goal down, and we just crumbled. And it happened time and time again. And that was going through my head at that point. I was like, okay, what are we going to do at this point? And then, boom, Calvert-Lewin 1-1, and we never looked back.
This team, for me, has got, I'm going to be bold and say this, but it's just got enough about it. I think he's got personality. You know, Ampadu, just the standards he sets on the pitch. It's in the 92nd minute and he's barking and directing players all around him. He's the master on that pitch. He's the chess master. And then obviously he's got his own ability as well, but he's dictating everything around him. You know, and you just see it from within. You know, like the Longstaff and Calvert-Lewin as experienced Premier League players don't get enough credit for what we brought in, I don't think, in 2 really established Premier League players there. And it makes a massive difference when you're in the trenches. You know, 1-0 down away at Wolves, given that situation, you don't have them players. The players go under. You know, Mark Rocker as an example, or, you know, some of the others that we had within that team, they found themselves in that situation. They hide. They skirt away from their responsibilities. 100%. Sean Longstaff won't do that. Ampadu won't do that. Dominic Calvert-Lewin won't do that. And the other boys as well that have come up won't do that. Joe Rodon, Jayden Bogle. Pascal Schroik, again, I mean, Pascal, for me, had a couple of moments. He had a really hairy one in the second half, but I recognise the fact that...
where he second-guessed himself, didn't he? And he was like, oh, not second-guess. Premier League.
Again, he was excellent today.
Yeah,
Everything that came into the box, he's heading it away. He was strong. He were demanding, and you can see that they are all in it together. And when I get so like kind of passionate in defence of Daniel Farke, it's not because I'm a huge Daniel Farke fan. It's because I recognise the fact that he's created this, and the sum of its parts at the minute is getting way more than the actual quality that we've got. Together, they're capable of actually pulling a lot together, I think. You know, outside of the Arsenal thumping, when Arsenal will thump a lot of teams, we have looked every bit a Premier League team. Every bit a Premier League team. I watched Everton earlier against Liverpool. They were very good for large parts. They were very good, and they've had a great season. Great 3 games in between ours and the Liverpool game there. You know, and we made them look dead ordinary. We battered them, in effect. We dominated the game. Fulham, we deserved a point easily. Newcastle, we deserved a point. You know, Newcastle were going bloody war and death with bloody Barcelona the other night. Yeah. And we made them look so ordinary. Yeah. You know? So
yeah,
I just think...
Do you know what? I absolutely... I can't agree with that more, because, you know, we sat here on the stream a couple of days ago and I said I'm a bigger believer in Farke now, and I stand by it. And you've got examples directly in you. You know, Sheffield United going back to get Wilder because they
lost again today. They lost again.
Well, you know, you sack a 90-point manager, which a lot of us, I would have sat there if we'd have got rid of Farke at the end of that play season. But you're absolutely right. It doesn't take into account what he's built.
Yeah,
and what he's built is so important. This is the foundations and everything. You can see it from the last 2 years. This is his 3rd year there. It just runs through the team. And that is so important. That's a really undervalued quality.
Browney, they're slogging the guts out for him. They are. Like, regardless of what you think of him, the ground that they cover to make sure that the you know, they're covering the spaces, but the tactical plan is kept in place.
Yeah,
it's unreal. I mean, Brendan gets so much stick, but he put himself in the ground today. He really did. And I mean, that left-hand side was hard to deal with in the second half. Bueno got a few more crosses in than I would have liked, but he's a good player. He's quick. And they were doubling up with him, and Brendan did all of that defensive work. Jaden actually pulled inside. So Brendan was doing it all out there at one point. I just think it's so harsh how quick we are to trample all over this, given the fact that every single one of us will take this team finishing 17th. Every single one of them. So that means that we're going to lose about 20 games. So when we're getting epped up about, you know, small, minute failings from a championship side, effectively, like, what are we expecting? They don't marry up. You know, and we're seeing performances like that today. And Wolves are not a great side, sure, but they're still an established Premier League side that we need to finish in front of.
100%.
You know,
100%. So, yeah. I completely agree, and I think you know, content creators as well have got to take responsibility for the what they're pumping out, which is basically propaganda against a lot of these players, and it's just agendas. I don't care what you look at; it is agendas. You can't look at Brendan's performance today and say that was a bad performance, or he didn't do his job and he didn't help. He's not perfect. We know that, you know, sometimes the decision making, whatever, but he worked his socks off and he had quality. He did show quality, and he was vital to how that set up today. Just, you know, it's like last year, we always said he was vital to that framework. You'd like a few more goals and assists, but again, today he showed quality and he worked his nuts off. We might not get that result today if he's not there and putting in that work. Right. Can we have some acknowledgement from it? Can we have a kind of, you know, I mean, I'd even go to the local journals that I read, and it's like, can we have some acknowledgement of this, please? Can we have some acknowledgement? It's really getting on my nerves how much it's just, oh no, he's no good.
From the 5 performances that we've seen this season, that was the best right midfield performance we've had.
Yeah.
From Dan James, Willie Gnonto, or Brendan Aronson. Yeah. Brendan Aronson has delivered the best right midfield performance this season. Now, the bar, some would say to me, wasn't very high. I can accept that because Dan James has not had a great start to the season. Gnonto's not particularly played great either.
Yeah.
But it's still the fact. The best right midfield performance that we've seen from one of our players this season is Brendan Aronson today. And I would say the exact same on the other side from Noah Okafor as well. You know, the creativity looked like it was there. I mean, there was a couple of moments in the second half where Brendan was actually taking the ball by the horns. He was picking the ball up and driving inside. He played the ball into Calvert-Lewin, and Calvert-Lewin couldn't quite take it in his stride. A beautiful bit of play. But it won't get recognised because it's Brendan Aronson. It's simple as that. I'm crying out for Jack Harrison to score as well. Because I'm over it now. You know what I mean? I'm over it. He's one of our players, and you know, Daniel Farker's come out again and said what he said today or yesterday, whenever it was, about Jack, and he's gonna play and he's gonna get a start before too long. Good, because if he's the right player for us to put in, then good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't care.
No, and I want to raise this point from Martin. That's a really good point as well. I tolerated the opinions of some content creators until it became an actual agenda. I utilised the hide button at first to shield myself from. And this is the thing, you see, it's you know, that kind of feeling, that message, it goes far and wide, you know, and there's some big accounts that have kind of pumping that out there. And it's like, why can't we judge things on, like, let's see how it goes and what the evidence is in front of us, and keep updated. Me and you, would we have had Strike in our lineup at the start of the season? Hell no. He'd have been on my list to, you know, get out of the club cell. We probably had him at 4th choice centre back, and I'm delighted to say he has absolutely defied my expectation. And I want my players, you know, if I'm criticizing someone, or if I'm saying they haven't been good enough, I want them to next week shut me the hell up. I love it. I don't have to be, oh, I'm right about all my opinions and everything I say is right, and I'm just going to stick to my agenda because I can't admit when I'm wrong. I'm the opposite. I'm like, I want to be wrong. If a player that I've criticised then does well, I love it. I absolutely love it because it helps Leeds United, and that's what.
Well, that's all that matters, isn't it? Is what works for Leeds United. The problem that too many people have is they become married to an opinion, and it then becomes an agenda and a bias. We all have biases and agendas to some extent, but it's the level in which you're capable of saying, you know what, there's been enough evidence, logical evidence now to say that I was wrong. Yeah. And 46 games last season from Brendan in, I would say, his more unnatural position of number 10, working solid to make sure that we achieved a 100-point championship winning season is enough for me to say Brendan can play a part as a squad option within this side. And when he plays well, I'm going to say he's played well. But the problem is regardless of how he plays, some will just criticise him because he's a bit slight and he gets pushed off the ball occasionally, or he's technically not that good at times. But today, he was very, very good.
Yeah, it was.
That's just the fact. And you're absolutely spot on about Pascal. I have absolutely bashed Pascal for 2 seasons solid. Yeah, and I've said that last season, you know, he was our weak link, and he was. That was the reality then. This season, I would have started Jacob Ayala if he'd have been available in the first game of the season. He wasn't. Pascal's made that position his own. And outside of the Arsenal game, I think Pascal's been practically faultless. He's had moments, and I'm hypercritical of them because I have this agenda, right? Because I have this bias. I don't have an agenda. I have a bias. There's a bit of a difference. But for me now, Pascal, it's his place, and it's his place to lose. And if he keeps on performing like that, he deserves the spot. It's as simple as that.
Absolutely. Diggler, refreshing to hear your comments, Jason and Browney, about Brendan. Me personally, I've never doubted him. Strange but true. There we go. Anyways, on to more positive things as well. Anton Stack free kick that puts us in the lead. And it was kind of a strange one because I was yelling. I was like, it was further forward than that. I think that's what Farker were annoyed about. Like, the ball got pushed further back from where the foul was. I was like, what is going on? But, I mean, that strike. I mean, the thing about Stack, you know, he is a good ball striker, isn't he? I know he's taken some dubious set pieces so far this season. But, I mean, wow. On the keeper's side as well.
My lad said exactly the same, like it's a bit close. And I actually said to him before it was taken, it's probably a good thing it's a bit further back because it's harder to get it up and down.
Yeah.
And isn't it? Like, you can actually be too close to the edge of the box sometimes. I mean, what a strike. We've seen him hit one similar in pre-season, didn't we? Where he rasped it in. And I mean, he goes to the keeper's side and he puts it on the postage stamp. It's right in the top corner and it's hit with such power that it's almost impossible to stop it. He is a player. For me today, first half, he was exceptional.
Yeah.
Exceptional. I know you were kind of on him a little bit early, weren't you? There were a sloppy pass, and there were two sloppy
A couple
passes.
of times he's in that final third, and it's a sloppy moment, and I'm like, oh, I'm
It's
frustrated.
like it falls off, innit? Sometimes,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but for me, that first half, we go in at halftime 3-1 up because of Stack's defensive work, or in large parts because he was just everywhere. And the second there were a heavy touch from a Wolves player, bam, he was back on it and he won possession. I mean, go and have a look at his ball recoveries in that first half.
Yeah.
Every time it was Stack. Oh, there's Stack again. He's won the ball back, and it was like a man possessed. And then he kind of topped off with that strike. And yeah, you'll go a long way before you see a strike as clean as that. I mean, it'll be in for goal of the month, won't it? It was so crisp.
Super.
Yeah, buzzing, mate. It was excellent.
No, well, that's it, isn't it, as well? And with him as well, I mean, winning free kicks that second half as well, and just the cleverness there as well. And it's difficult, isn't it, as well, because he's so big. You know, he's hard to handle because he's got technical ability as well as kind of, you know, and it's just a nightmare to play against, isn't he, really? You know, he's kind of got, he has, and I think he'll probably, you know, get to the position where he's our best player this season. I think he's just got everything. I think he's got everything, and I think a couple of sharper moments here and there, and tidying up a couple of things, and it's just going to be like, you know, wow, this is a player.
I think he's one of them that will look even better when he's in a better team as well. Like when he's got better players around him. I'm not wishing him on, obviously, from Leeds United, but hopefully we can develop with him. But if you were to stick him into, let's just say, Liverpool's midfield, I think he'd just look like an absolute Rolls Royce tank. I think he'd just be exceptional. But I think he's probably beyond us. I do think he was a stretch target. I said that, and then he's had a few fishy performances, and we're a bit, I don't know.
What's going on?
Yeah, but I mean, he were back with full of vengeance today, as was Gabby Goodmunson on the left-hand side. I mean, I think Gabby, for the value, is probably the best signing on paper at the minute. Because for 10 million quid, I mean, he's every bit a Premier League left back, both going forward and defensively. I mean, he's as good as Firpo in the attacking sense, and his heads and I've seen head and shoulders so many times in this stream already, but he's leagues above Junior defensively. Leagues and leagues and leagues and leagues and leagues. That's you know the Firpo agendas when we were in the Premier League. That's how they saw him defending. I mean, that's genuinely what they used to see. Like,
a word for Gabby, because he's coming and he's just kind of he's exactly what I hoped and prayed we'd get at left back. If you could have written it on a paper, if you could have had your wish list of what your left back is capable of, he's got exactly what it is. Attacking wise, he can create. He's really. Do you know what he's really clever at? We're passing it around at the back, and the ball will go to him, and there's someone on his case, and he's really good at either turning inside, showing a bit of composure, taking it past them, or finding the pass. And it's just those little things like that that Firpo could never do when he was in the Premier League. He just couldn't handle it at all. And we've had a myriad of left backs that just have not been able to do that. He's like, if he plays like that for the rest of the season, he's exactly what you need. I mean, it feels like to me he's someone who's come in, and it's like 8 out of 10 performances, 9 out of 10 performances immediately.
Firpo always looked like he was running in slow motion when he was without the ball. When he was with the ball, he was pretty quick, but without it got slower somehow. And I agree. I think teams will already be looking at Gabby and be like, "Oh, he's a Premier League left back here. Like this is a solid performer. Like you can just the way that he arrows the runs inside the pitch and just runs straight at people in the space.
Yeah.
He's quick. He's defensively so good. I mean, we've always had a bit of an issue at left back since Ian Hart. We have had like a series of left back issues all the way through the years. Stephen Warnock kind of subsided that for a period of time towards the back end of his career. But aside from that, you know, even Barry Douglas, who was expected to be the best left back in the division, came and had a stinker for 2 years. So yeah, he's a blessing to watch, mate. He's class act.
Yeah, absolutely. The third goal then, Okafor, beautiful goal. Listen, you know, 3 very different goals as well. Fantastic work from Stack, runs with the ball, progresses the ball, lays perfect pass into Okafor. And it's a great finish. I think you hit the nail on the head earlier in the stream when you said, there's not many in the squad, because it's that kind of left foot finish into the corner. Yeah. For me, Okafor today and last week against Fulham, you can just see that extra gear, the control. Now, for me, being hypercritical, he has some really sloppy moments. He has some kind of moments where you're going, why have you done that? Or I think a lack of aggression in some moments, chasing things down. But I think you've got to take into consideration fitness, and I think you've got to take into consideration adjusting to the Premier League. But what he gives us on the ball is that quality that we need. He was key for getting us up the pitch so many times, and he's exciting to watch. When he's on that ball and he's on that wing and he's going at that fullback, I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm like, something could happen here. And that goal was just really good.
Yeah, quality. There's some really smart touches as well. Yeah. He makes some really smart touches on the byline where it looks like the ball's going to go out, and he keeps it in and he knocks it around. And I think as he gets fitter and fitter, you'll see an even bigger asset again, just to keep him fit. But both sides. He's right-footed. I would say he's the only player within the team that would have finished that chance with that quality on his weaker foot. Across, think if Jack Harrison had been running in on that, even on his strong foot, he'd have probably swiped it. Dan James, Dan James on his left would never have finished that like that. Calvert-Lewin wouldn't have done, because his kind of finishing's a bit janky. Metcher would be the same, So he just has that little bit of sauce where he can kind of just finish it in that way, and we deserved it, mate. I was saying that 2-1, let's just get in at half time, and then go again in the second half. To go in 3-1, dare I say it, a bit like the Everton game, it felt a bit championshipy, where it, like, if you take the emotion and it's Leeds United and all the rest of it out of it, it felt like the game was done at half time. And obviously it turned out it was, but it felt like that. I know they had a couple of half chances, but Wolves resorted to just pumping it into a box, and that's because we limited them to nothing. We defended so well.
Yeah, we did. That second half, obviously they've got that, they made 3 changes at half time. There's got to be something happening. It's desperation. And just as Colin says here, Darlow is my number one for sure. I thought Darlow again today was excellent. Coming out and catching it. I think there was one moment where he dropped one, or it kind of got away from him, and but it didn't land anywhere. We had defenders around, but that save as well. There was a save that he did where it was quite close to him, but the speed that shot was hit and his reactions, and it was the footwork as well, getting across to stuff. Because Wolves had a few of them kind of looping headers, like not really threatening, but kind of you never know, do you? Sometimes they can just beat you. Darlow was just under everything, everywhere. His distribution, if he'd have been there all season last year, I think we would have brought the championship points record. But that's just one of those where I just say fair play to Darlow, because last year he came in, he wasn't the number one. It was a low fee. There was a big clamour for a new keeper in the summer. We've got that big spot filled. We've gone and got Perry, but he's got injured. He's got his opportunity, and again, are we going to be that quick to toss Darlow back to the subs bench after these last couple of games? I think he's been absolutely rock solid.
A couple of things on this. I think he has. I think he's been excellent. I think he's been everything that you could have wanted. He made a fantastic save against Fulham last week from Kevin. I think we need to remember that Karl Darlow is a Premier League goalkeeper. He is. Now, a backup and a second choice Premier League goalkeeper, but he is. We signed him when we thought that Meslier was going, and Meslier ended up staying. And he was going to be our number one in the Championship. He was Newcastle's number one in the Championship when they won the league. He was Newcastle's number one when they first came up, the first season in the Premier League. He's an established, really, Premier League goalkeeper. He's got a bozo gene in him. He is one of them keepers that's got a bozo in him. We saw it last season. Let's not pretend like he was perfect in them last 6 games or whatever it was. I saw him firsthand basically punch the ball on the outside the box right in front of me when we were back to the wall, and he got a yellow card at Ellen Road. We saw him over the other week against Sheffield Wednesday, spill one through his knackers. If he'd have done that at 1-0 down today, and it would then 2-0, people won't be calling for Caldalo to be his number one, regardless of the rest of his performance today. This is what fans do. They get they get emotional very quick. In the summer, everybody wanted a new number one. Every single person. They've seen Lucas Perry have a couple of moments, but in his more recent performances, the Newcastle game is I'm going to say most recent performance, because it was one. It was fine. It was good. So I think we just need to be careful, just settle this down. The keeper position's a bit of a different beast. It's not normally, you don't have two number ones both vying for the same position. You just don't. You have an out-and-out quality number one and a keeper that's also happy to come in and play, but then we'll go back to that spot when he needs to. And I get the feeling that that's where Darlow will sit. And it depends on how long Perry's out for. And I wouldn't then be surprised at some point if Darlow throws one in the net and everybody's screaming for Perry. You know, there were people asking for Meslier when Perry first got injured because of the Sheffield Wednesday. This is again what
crazy, isn't it? It's just
you know, people still throw the stick at Farker about not replacing Meslier quick enough last season. I mean, even that for me is just ridiculous. He eventually had no choice and did what he needed to do. Bielsa would have stuck with Meslier until the end of last season. I'm telling you now, he would have done. For the biggest reason that it would have been the change in feet, because Meslier is left-footed and Darlow's right-footed. But Farker eventually did it, and it was the right decision. But I fully understood the reasons why he was so reluctant to do it last season. So I'm like, if Perry comes back and rides bench, I'd say, you know what, fair play to Darlow. He's done what he needed to do to earn Farker's trust and take the number one spot for now, and Perry needs to earn it back. If Perry comes straight back in, I'd be absolutely fine with that as well. This is a Champions League, European, top-level goalkeeper that we've signed, that we've spent 15 million quid on. So I'm not about to start saying that Carl Darlow should replace him permanently as the number one. But he's been excellent. Absolutely excellent. One thing that Carl's done really well in pre-season or during the off-season, coming into the season, is he's improved his ability with the ball at his feet. He looked very unsure last year, and now he seems really comfortable with, okay, this one needs to go to Joe, okay, this one needs to go to Pascal, okay, this one needs to go long. And he's got that kind of understanding into his game, whereas I always thought he looked really unsure when he first came in last season. So and Perry is obviously taking time to adapt to that as well. You know, so but that's how I stand on it, to be honest.
No, I agree. Little bit of concern. Bogle at the end went down, and it looks a bit of a nasty one. I was checking to see if we had any comments from Farky. Yeah, it doesn't look as if anything's come through at the moment, so we wait with bated breath. I will say though, we got a glimpse of James Justin coming on, and there was just one moment where you thought, yeah, he'll be fine. He came and he headed it clear, and he just looked like, you just see a player and they just look like they're just fitting straight away. I thought, yeah, you'll do. If we're missing a fullback, you'll do. That's another canny signing, is that. I like the fact that if we do have an injury, we've got someone like that to come in who looks assured.
You know, like the thing is, you can be really guilty of listening to opposition fans when a player's left the club, especially if they've gone down. And Leicester obviously went down. He was their captain last season. None of their players will have been that good. You know what I mean? So, and he's had injuries. Sometimes a reset for the player can be enough to rediscover form. And James Justin has also made an England international. He's played for England. He's capped. You know, same as Dominic Calvert-Lewin. You can see pedigree. You can see quality. So. And again, experience as well, Premier League experience. So yeah, I agree, mate. I mean, if he has to come in, I'll be a bit gutted because Jayden Bogle's one of our best players.
Yeah, that cross. Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, he's just a top player, and he's a top player. But this is why we then spent 10 million quid on signing a backup fullback, because at some point you're going to take injuries. You're going to need your squad. So. You know, that's when then, I don't even know if Byron was on the bench or not today. I don't think he was. Byron comes in off the stand. This is what we were talking about. Sam Byron had travelled down to Wolves today and had been happy to sit in the stands and support his team on. Bogle gets injured. James Justin's a quality option to take his place, and Byron takes his place on the bench, and he's happy to do that. Yeah. You know, that's what you need.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
100%. And we got to see our man Tanaka as well. Love Tanaka, absolutely love Tanaka, and it was interesting because when he came on,
in the air.
Yeah, and you know, it were good because he really got stuck in, and he was pressing them high, and it just kind of helped that pressure a little bit, didn't he? Doing our Tanaka things, and that's going to be fascinating for him. You know, that's going to be fascinating going forward because, you know, Longstaff again today. I mean, you know, we already know the distance he covers every game, and just simply from that, he's so kind of vital. You know, filling in gaps and plugging holes and battling and throwing his body in. And you know, it's a great little dilemma to have, isn't it? You know, if you've got a fit and firing Tanaka waiting to come on, you know, that's only going to help. I mean, that's you know, quality in depth.
I don't know how he gets back in. Like,
it's tricky, isn't it? He's definitely not going to take Ampadu's place. He's not going to take Stack because Stack, you know, has shown today what it's all about. And Longstaff, you know, especially away,
yeah,
you're not gonna.
It is Longstaff, innit? It's Longstaff or Tanaka. That's how it feels. I mean, I know Stack's had a couple of, you know, sketchy performances over the last couple of weeks, but you know the level quality is there, and it's not just the level quality; it's the physical aspect of Anton Stack. He gives us so much in that middle of the pitch. And Tanaka, as much as I love him and I love his industry, and he's, you know, tenacious, and I think he's probably a bit more creative than the other boys in terms of his capability to pop and passes around, because he's physically quite slight in that area of the pitch. There is times, I think, where he kind of gets not from any lack of effort, a bit like Brendan. He kind of gets a little bit bullied out of it. And in the Premier League, where they're all monsters, you kind of need that little bit. And I'm looking at that midfield today and I'm thinking, I don't want to lose any of that, because today we got the creativity out of it and we got the defensive reassurance out of it. So, I mean, Ampadu.
This guy. How much was he? 5 million? 5 million?
He's ridiculous. He's so good. He's so good. He is perfect. He's very, very similar, dare I say it, to Calvin Phillips, in that his perfect position is the 1DM in front of the back four. Ampadu sometimes in the Championship would have games where he didn't look as effective because he was in a double pivot with the 10 in front and then the 2 DMs. As a single DM, just like Calvin, he's just a Rolls Royce. He's tackling, 7 million. He's tackling. He's just on point. He's ball-footed. His game awareness. His link up to keep possession. His confidence and assurance on the ball. He's got the sprays as well. Should he need them? He's excellent. He's just excellent.
I guarantee, if he's playing in the Arsenal game, it's not 5-0. I
agree.
I 100% believe that.
I agree.
Believe that.
He's a proper leader.
Yeah,
like, you know, we've not had too many, but Liam Cooper, you know, was a fantastic leader of this club as a captain. You know, we've had some terrible captains as well, like Peltier and man, you know.
Yeah.
But Ampadu's right up there in the top echelons of leaders of this club. Lucas Radaby, you know, David Batty, even though he didn't really wear the armband, he's right up there with them. Maybe not for the quality, maybe not yet, but his leadership skills, he's just the marshal. And you can already see that he's probably going to be a great manager one day.
Well, I mean, you know, and he's 25.
I know.
He's 25. I mean, if I'm Leeds, if we stay up this season, he's the first one I'm going to and say, right, let's get you signed up. I don't know how long he's got left on his contract, but I'm like, look, 4 or 5 years. And if someone's going to buy you, they're going to pay. They're going to pay because you are top quality.
We have very little, like we've spoke about this before, and it is something to worry us about where Ethan's concerned. We have very little sellable assets.
Yeah.
Now, you know, Man City's paid 40 million for Calvin Phillips 3-4 years ago, or whatever it was now. He has got that about him. Yeah, he has. And it might be something that we have to prepare ourselves for at some point. It might be, because he's going to have that ticket on him where we can
It's
make
too good, isn't it? I mean, he's just too good. I mean, anybody watching him, I mean, yeah, if you a top team, you'd be looking at him going, yeah, he can come in and do the business, absolutely. Well, Jason, that leaves us currently. I know that Man United are beating Chelsea at the moment. Chelsea had a player sent off. As things stand,
you're joking. That's a name.
I know. As there's still a few games left to play, obviously, but we're sat in there in 10th at the moment. 2 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. We've bagged some goals today as well, which always helps. Some of the other scores today, Burnley and Forest drawing 1-1, which I think is good for us. You know, obviously can't start reading too much into it, but I think that's good for us, really. It keeps them both kind of down there. West Ham losing again, by the way, Palace up into 4th.
Lost at home as well.
Yeah, West Ham losing at home, and we've done the business against Wolves. So all in all, I would say a very, very positive day, not just our result, but some of the others as well.
100%, mate. 100%. I think from 5 games in, we'd have all taken 7 points. We said that about the 4 out of 4.
Yeah.
We're sitting as pretty as we could possibly hope to have been. Absolutely. I think an extra point against Fulham would have been the cherry on top of the icing on top of the cake. It really would. You know, we've had such a strong return to the Premier League for me. You know, not just points on the board, but performances as well. We're seeing the team grow. We're seeing the team improve. For me, again, you know, we're probably going to be in and around a relegation battle, I think, until game week 32, 3, 4, something like that. But I truly believe that this team has got enough to pick up the points it needs to survive. You know, we're 7 down for 5. Carry on that trajectory, we'll be safe by game week 33. Yeah. So, mate, I'm delighted.
Well, the big problem was, or the kind of big question mark for me was the goals. You know, we'd not scored goals, we'd not scored open play goals, and it was becoming a bit of a thing where everybody's talking about it, everybody's mentioning it. When's it going to happen? I feel like now that's put aside, and we've got 2 really difficult home games coming up. We've got Bournemouth who are on fire, we've got Spurs who are on fire. I think they battled back to get a 2-2 draw against Brighton, which is a good result away considering they were 2-0 down. 2 really tough home games, but you can go into those games kind of, you've banked your 7 points, you've won away from home, and you can kind of swing from the hip, can't you? You can, and I think it'll be the same gritty, determined, dogged display again. And if we're at that level, that we're gonna be able to lay a glove on, and we're hopefully going to be able to do something. And if we come out of those 2 games, if it's, I mean, the dream is if you can win one of them. If you can win one of them, I mean, yeah, I'll take that now.
Browney as well. I mean, we've conceded 1 open play goal in the 4 games. I'm kind of saying the Goodmanson own goal day. We've conceded 1 open play goal in 4 Premier League games. We've kept 2 clean sheets in 2 really tough home games. And today we didn't really look like conceding. Darlow's made a couple of smart saves, but he's not made any worldies. No. He's not. He's done what the keeper should have done. He's looked assured. We have looked super solid. We're going to be really difficult to beat. I think all season. The question marks will be whether we can make it click enough in the final third. And today, against a team of equal measure to where we're at, we blew them away. We could have scored more. It looked again like a championship game. We were very assured once we got the 2-goal lead. I didn't really ever think we were going to concede.
No. So it just felt safe, didn't it?
You've always got that kind of part of your brain, haven't you? Where you, as a Leeds fan, you're like, oh god, I'm only secure at 5-1 with like 3 minutes to go. But really, it didn't.
They were not threatening. Just, I don't know what's going on. Maresca losing the plot. 3 subs off, including Palmer, and it's 20 minutes in.
Wow,
Jesus, what is going on?
He's not happy with whatever however they've gone out there, is it?
Crazy, absolutely crazy. Just checking to see if we've got any Farker updates or comments at the minute. I will say a little shout out. Bradford City, by the way.
Top of league, beat Cardiff
away 3-1, top of League One.
Up the chickens.
Yeah, up the chickens. I think we had a comment earlier, didn't we, from Nick there? Yeah, fair enough. We'll give you your moment there, Nick. Fantastic from the Bantams there. Right, let's have a look, see if we've got anything. Right, okay. So we've got something through here. Daniel Farker, the narrative in this club changes every week. With 7 points.
Daniel. Daniel.
Yeah.
Mate.
He's firing, isn't he? He's going. With 7 points, everyone will now discuss Europe. Football is emotions, and people can fear the worst after a loss. I'm glad we send them home to a nice weekend. We stay humble. They can dream a bit. Love it.
He's spot on though. He is. I mean, the social media today will be no abuse for Daniel Farker, no abuse for Brendan Aronson, no abuse for Jack Harrison, no credit either for any of them, other than the ones that have already been in that space, like me and you, where we've just analysed it as it is. Me and you have both been big enough to say 18 months ago would have both been okay if Daniel Farker had got sacked after the playoff final. And we were both happy to then say we were wrong. We've both been there. The man achieved 100 points, record points for Leeds, record goals, all the records, all the metrics said how dominant and brilliant we were. And when you go back and analyse the 24-25 season, it's one of the best in Leeds United's recent history. Regardless of the fact that it's in the second division, it is. That's the fact. It surpassed Marcelo Bielsa. He did it all. Yeah. So you now have to analyse what he's up against in the big time. Everybody, before a ball was kicked, was saying the three promoted sides will go straight back down.
Yeah.
And we are already showing that we've got more than enough with the way that he's setting up, even though the same people that will criticise him will say that Dan James is crap, Brendan Aronson's crap, Noah Okafor we shouldn't have spent the money on, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is injury prone and we shouldn't have bought him, Metcha and all the rest. They'll say that the players are crap, but then give Daniel Farker no credit for getting the results regardless. So he can't win. So you know that the agenda is strong when that's where it's at. So I am, like you said earlier, I am so far behind him now because of what he's displayed throughout these 5 games. Outside of Arsenal, we have been every bit a Premier League team, and that is unreal, really. Given what we've got in front of us, given the competition value, we couldn't have expected any more, mate.
No, 100%. And you've got to say as well, the 49ers and the recruitment have taken an absolute bashing over what happened with the attacking signings and what happened on the transfer deadline. But again, Stack, Goodmanson, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Okafor. So, you know, they've signed those players. They've put those players into the team. So they've got to take credit as well. You know, all those guys that have scouted and these are the players that are getting those points in the Premier League.
I definitely think there needs to be a balance with this. As much as we're optimistic and excited tonight, that doesn't mean that they got it perfect.
No,
I also do think that credit needs to be given where it's due. You're absolutely spot on. You know, we haven't even seen BO yet, but Gabby, Stack, Okafor, Longstaff, Calvert-Lewin, you know, they'll have known how Longstaff will have been received, but they did it anyway because it was right for the team. And that is huge. And I don't think enough credit will ever be given for the job that's been done. We do have PSR restrictions. We're still suffering from the punishment of the previous ownerships and the terrible recruitment that we did. And we have done a recruitment in which they think is good enough for us to finish 16th.
Yeah.
And watching it, it's hard to argue.
Yeah.
Because I watch a lot of Premier League football. There's a lot of teams that are going to struggle playing against us and struggle to take points off us. There is. And we're seeing that again today.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Some more comments from Farker. Dominant first half, clinical edge, excellent goals. Key was confidence in our start. We wanted to dominate this game. Sadly, mistake was punished in not tracking the run. Crucial, we did not dwell on this, keep believing in the process. Would have liked more possession and control in the second half. They were throwing everything at it. We were always reacting in the second half, but we showed defensive steel, good in our own box, hard fought and tight, but deserved. Never in doubt we would score. Just the efficiency was missing in the first 4 games. 4 games without scoring, and I wonder what the hell was Goodmanson doing in passing rather than shooting 5 minutes in.
I said exactly the same, actually. Why?
Yeah, because he must have known there were no one there.
He didn't look up, did he? He just put it in there.
Yeah. Farker says it's too early to provide a firm update on Bogle. Opponent's studs landed on his foot and it's very swollen. Hopefully it's not bad, but he won't know more until the next few days. Benefit of the Premier League, though, is no game for 7 days. So hopefully,
and if it's impact and it's just a bone bruise or something like that, that's not as bad as a ligament. I thought he'd like done his ligament, like rolled his ankle or something. So that could actually be all right, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting as well. Pereira's comments have come through as well. He said, first half, not in our level. Second half, took more risks. 2 strikers, created chances to score, problems in their box. No counters for them. Just 2 defenders, tried everything to score. Yeah, I thought you were pretty woeful second half, to be honest. And I mean, it's interesting, as Gav says here, they've just given him a 3-year deal as well. I mean, if I'm a Wolves fan, by the way, I'm absolutely terrified because it looked so poor today.
They don't stay up with him in charge. They don't stay up with that as it is.
There were no plan, were there? There was just no shape. There were no plan. I don't know what they were actually trying to do.
The problem Wolves have got, and obviously they didn't really have to go and give him this new contract, but last season they were able to kind of turn the season around so well on the back of him going there. And obviously they pick up points everywhere, but the problem that they are going up against is that the Premier League's a different beast this season at the bottom in comparison to last season. Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton were so far off of our level. And I don't even know about Sunderland enough here, but even Sunderland and Burnley are showing themselves to be so much more competitive than what we saw last season. Wolves kind of got a free pass at it last season. You know, Spurs finished 17th on 38 points and they were safe from January. I've worked it out before. I think they could have not got another point from February the 2nd, I think it was, Spurs, and still stayed up.
Yeah.
That's mental. That is mental, you know? So, yeah, they've got problems. If I were a Wolves fan, I'd be very worried. Very worried. They're the worst team I've seen this season.
Yeah. After 5 games, we're 3 points behind second place Spurs. Not bad, is it? Not a bad start, is it?
Not bad. Not when you consider who we've played and the context behind the season as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, very happy with it.
Going into Bournemouth at home next week, do you expect it'll be the same lineup, same kind of attitude, same kind of thing? And how do you see us faring up in that one? It'd be lovely to get a point, wouldn't it? I'd be so happy with a point from that one. I'd take a point now, to be honest.
Bournemouth are a team, mate. Yeah, I mean, I've changed my FPL around having Ivan Nielsen and Semenyo in there against Newcastle tomorrow, because Newcastle obviously coming off playing Barcelona on Thursday. I think that's a really tough game for Newcastle. I think Bournemouth will win there. They're at home as well, so yeah, they're a tough team. Iriola Ball is a bit of a joy to watch. They've got some really good players there. Be a tough game. I'd be really happy if we can extend the unbeaten run at Ellen Road to 23, even with a point. I'd be absolutely delighted with that, mate. But that said, any game at Ellen Road, I think we stand a chance of winning every single one, because I think we it is a fortress. Ellen Road has got an effect around it, like Wolves today. Molineux meant nothing. No. It meant nothing. It was just 2 teams playing on a pitch, and you could feel it in the atmosphere. Ellen Road will never be like that. No. So it will give us the opportunity. At some point, we're going to lose at home because there's some good teams in this division, obviously. But Bournemouth at home, you can hope. You can hope to take something from that.
If we lose, can we not freak out?
Well, I will freak out.
But, can we not have a complete meltdown if we lose to it? That'd be nice. If we could just stay a bit reasoned and rational.
Me and you will. I'll talk you round.
Yeah, you'll talk me round.
For after about 20 minutes, you'll be fine. But then the fan base will have a meltdown. And I'll keep on saying it. We're going to lose about 18 games this season. Absolutely. Maybe even a few more, and still stay up probably. Hopefully. So I think we will stay up. but we're going to lose a lot of games in the process, and some of them will be at home. So you'll get no meltdown from me. The meltdown from me will come when the performances are a problem.
Yeah.
When the effort levels drop, when Daniel Farke starts making big wholesale problems that I think there was no idea behind what you did there, that was panic. You know, like Enzo Maresca today, maybe. I know Chelsea started well, but, you know, making 3 subs at half time today. Some people will say, oh, well, he has to do that. You know, he has to react. Well, I would also say, you know, there's something wrong in that. Yeah, that it can be easy from the outside looking in when you're 3-1 down at home to say, oh, wholesale changes. But you've worked on that strategy all week to win that game. To throw it all out at half time is concerning, you know. So, yeah.
Agree. No, agree.
For
Just
now,
a quick word on this one as well. Forest, as Gav says, Forest 0 wins into the Ange's back. I'll be honest, I think it's a terrible appointment for Forest, is Ange. Just my personal opinion. I think he's got exciting players there that he'll definitely get something from, but I think, I mean, if they're, you know, I don't know. I just think it's I think going from Nuno to Ange is just not where you need to be as Nottingham Forest. Like, you're getting ahead of your station.
There's no thought process in it, is there? You know, like Nuno's a very defensive manager, pragmatic first, and Ange is the complete opposite. Yeah. So you've now given him no pre-season, and he's got to now get these players to adapt to a completely different tactic and structure. I mean, there's so much quality in that Forest side. They'll surely start scoring a lot of goals at some point.
Yeah.
But we saw last season, even though Spurs had a lot of injuries, they had a lot of talent as well. The Ange style,
they were shocking.
Yeah, I mean, they were bad, weren't they?
I watched them. I watched them countless times, and it was like kids. Like, the opposition could just walk through them. It was embarrassing. Absolutely, I love it. Hey, another team struggling at the bottom, bring it on. Love it. Absolutely. Do you think, how long is it going to take for the Farke narrative to change? And I don't just mean the fans, but I also mean the general wider media, you know, because all you hear is, you know, the Norwich record, the Norwich record, the Norwich record. That's all you get with it. How long and how close are we to that changing, do you think?
You know, from a media perspective, I don't think we've seen loads. I've not seen loads anyway. I know there's been a little, but I think the media have generally been fairly okay, considering the fact that the media are lazy and it'd be an easy go-to anyway. I think safety would be such a huge thing for him. The second that we get to 35, 40 points, he'll probably get the credit he deserves from the media. I personally, and some people won't like to hear this, I'd be happy for everybody to see me say this on socials because it's the truth and they won't want to hear it. They'll never be happy with him. That's the truth. Some sections of this fan base will never, ever be happy with Daniel Farke. They'll always need the next one, whether it's because of his voice, whether it's because of the pragmatic style of the football, or whether it be because of the shadow of Marcelo. That's the main part. You know, Jesse didn't deserve it. Didn't deserve the job. And I think every appointment since then has been desperate up until Daniel Farke. That was where the plan started. You know, should he have gone up in season 1? I don't think it's as easy as to just say that. No. You know, there were a lot of unrest in the club that summer. There were a lot of turmoil. There were a lot going on. We had a freak season with 4 of us all above 87 points, 3 of us above 90. Ipswich were a complete fluke anomaly, and we're seeing the remnants of that now. You know, it'd have been nice to go up that season for the reasons that we said the other day. We'd have had Gio and Cree in this team, and it'd have been a little bit different. We'd have had less pain and suffering. But given the landscape of what he then did to rebuild on the back of that, he just deserves it all. Like, for me, outside of Marcelo, he's the best manager we've had since David O'Leary. He's the most successful manager we've had since David O'Leary. You know, and we have had some dross. We've also had some really good managers on paper. Neil Warnock, Simon Grayson, you know, winners that have also failed at this massive football club. Regardless of what you think of the squad from last season, Daniel Farke went and and did this. He went and achieved all of this.
I think what I'd like to see for a bit more, and look, this is only online I'm talking about, because there's plenty of, it doesn't represent the entire fan base. I'd like to see a bit more Farke love, I've got to say. Even if it goes horrendously wrong from here, can we at least kind of appreciate and just a bit more affection, a bit more kind of, appreciation for what he has actually done? Because we could be Sheffield United. We could literally be Sheffield United.
Really good.
If you watch what me and Jay said when Leeds got relegated from the Premier League, we said, we said the stream is there. And we both said we will struggle so much being back in the Championship. The major reason why we didn't is because we got the best Championship manager of all time by record in at the helm, because we were an absolute basket case when we went down the Championship.
The two things with Daniel is the number one is the Norwich record, and people, again, people won't aware of this, but people are so thick that they can't look through the context of what happened at Norwich. They're very similar to Kieran McKenna going down and not being sacked last season. The credit was in the bank, and the club understood. They told him, you are fighting a losing battle. There's no way you're going to stay up. There isn't the funds to make you competitive, Daniel. Really sorry. Got relegated and they went straight back up again. Now, the way that they went down in the second season and in getting sacked wasn't acceptable. They were getting bad and losing too many games. Fine. But all managers get sacked. All of them. So it comes with the territory, and everything he's done to establish this club again has shown. So I think it's the Norwich lack of context that people will apply, and then the shadow of Marcelo. The football that we got to enjoy at Championship level, especially under Marcelo, was just so good to watch. We were everybody's second team. Everybody wanted to watch us. To watch a game of football for Leeds United under Marcelo was an event. Everything was exciting. Players running everywhere, and the football that we watched was just mesmerizing. And that clouds people's ability to be able to judge what we're seeing now. Is it as fun to watch? No, it's not. But my word, it's effective. It is effective, and it wins football games. So,
and I enjoyed that today. And
I really enjoyed
in the Arsenal game, I've enjoyed every game. I found,
I
I really have. It's nice to see us being competitive at this level. Good stuff. Okay, well, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you, everyone who watched live with us. If you can just make sure you smash a like on the video. I know the YouTube algorithm's playing up a little bit, so those likes are key. So if you've enjoyed mine and Jay's review today, please smash a like on it. And if you're watching again later, please also like it. And drop a comment as well, what you think of what we've discussed today. But the main thing is, Leeds United fans, we can enjoy our Saturday night. I will be tuning into match of the day. I don't care what time we're on tonight. I will be there watching it. It'll be an absolute.
We might be first.
We might be first. You never know. The drama going on in Chelsea game. I'm not sure. 2-0 up now, I think. But so that's going to be absolutely fantastic to watch. We can enjoy our week. We've won the game, and we can look forward to next week. I've been Stephen Brown. With me, as ever, has been Jason Booker. Jason, thank you, mate.
Thank you,
mate. We'll catch you again next week. Myself and Jay will have a little catch up. We'll have a little show next week, probably Thursday morning. So do check that out as well, where we'll pick apart what we think of the Bournemouth game, and then we'll be back post-match Bournemouth as well. But enjoy the rest of your Saturday and your weekend, Leeds United fans. Leeds United 3, Wolves 1. Here we go.